When you are pricing accounting work or even any service, it's really important to ask the right questions. In fact, two types of questions. You want to ask scope questions because you want to understand the scope of the work so you make a profit on the fee. And secondly, you want to give what I call preference questions. Give people choice because customers love choice. So we ask scope questions, we ask preference questions. And in the software, you can add your own questions, you can change the templates, you can create as many questions as you want using the Universal Question Builder. Let me show you how you do it in the software now.
Whether you're using a pre-written template that we've created for you, a pricing model, or you've created your own, at any point in time you can edit them and change and add questions. So let me go and edit this cloud setup. If you want to price moving people to a cloud accounting system, then you will find in the questions section, you can add your own questions. You can also add your own section of questions. So for example, you might decide that you want to give the client the choice of whether you set up their branding in the system. So for example, in QBO, I know that you can make their invoices that come out of the system have the client's logo, their color scheme, and so on. So you could set that up for the client. And let's say I want to put that in the Your Preferences section. I would simply hit Add Question. I would then say, would you like us to set up your invoices? And so you determine what the text is going to be that the client sees. If you wanted to, you could put a description, which would then be a little pop-up box if you want it to. You then can choose from a range of different types of questions. So it could be a drop-down where you get a drop-down box of options. It could be that it's a yes or no. In this case, it would be. Or it could be asking for a number. It could be asking for how many bank accounts. So you decide what type of question we're going to be asking. And then what we do is we can then decide how the maths works. What's that going to do? And most of the time, it will either be an add or a multiply. So if they want you to set up the invoices, you could either increase the price that's so far been calculated by, let's say, 10%, or you could add a certain amount on. In this case, I'm going to add, and we can now choose our yes and no value. So if they want us to set up the invoices for them, the invoice templates in the software, I might decide that that's got to be worth 100. If they don't, we'll leave that at 0. And then we can choose what the default setting is when the question is asked. We hit the save button, and that's now been added to the list. If we want to, we can reorder the order of the questions that are asked in. We can move them into different sections. If we wanted to put that about your business, we can rename the sections. We can move the sections. You're in complete control as to the questions you ask, the types of questions, the numbers you use for the pricing, and how they are presented to the client, the order they are presented to the client.